Well, we make it interesting with, had this happen to us a couple times. I'm complaining about free throws, missing the front ends of the one-on-one. I look down, and those are the only 3 we missed, I think. I know 2 for sure were the front end, Dylan and Sebastian.
Right.
I'm not sure if 2 of Dylan's were. I'm not sure. But you know, they got some kids that I got a lot of respect for. You know, they've been through a lot, obviously, with some tough, close losses. A brutal schedule for their last 8 games, is it? Just, I mean, crazy. You know, everybody's top 20. Everybody they play is top 25 in the Ken Palm. It's tough to do 8 times in a row. But Galloway and Goody are, you can just see those kids just got a lot of character, man. So I got a lot of respect for them, you know, and then obviously with the coaching situation, they continue to compete. I think I saw them on a close to the next 4 out or first 4 out or something.
That's right.
So a lot of respect for their kids that can continue to fight under the situations. And we, you know, we just uncharacteristically turn the ball over Ben in the second half. We don't do that. So we give them credit. They're at home. Their kids, like I said, they kept fighting. They caused it. We had 9 second half turnovers. We don't turn the ball over 9 times in the game. I mean, we just don't. We turn the ball over 6 or less times usually here lately. So that almost got us. That almost got us. So we finally out-rebounded somebody. We needed to tonight because we didn't turn them over. But they don't, you know, they don't turn the ball over. It's not who they are. They keep it simple, and they're pretty strong with the ball.
You obviously won the game. Is that kind of the bottom line takeaway for you, or how much are you going to hone in on
Every
the things?
game I'm the same, Ben.
Yeah.
Every game. I know some games, you know, because I'm honest, people think I'm miserable or upset. I do the same thing every game. We try to win, then we evaluate the film. What do we need to do to get better? Because for us, it's about the NCAA tournament. That's just the way it is. I told you that when I got the job.
Yeah.
People thought I was crazy, but we're 9-3 in the NCAA tournament since I got the job. So it's what, you know, so that's what I told these guys for the last 2 days. I mean, even if we'd have come back and beat Illinois, it was good practice for us the other night to be down and have to execute trying to make a comeback. You're in that situation in March. We did a great job of that. We didn't get the dub, but we did a great job. Tonight, we got to learn how to play with the lead. You can watch film on both of those when we get home and try to learn and grow. So you know, but I told the guys, we keep getting out rebounded, we're not going anywhere in March. Because we're eventually going to play somebody like Indiana that just doesn't turn the ball over. So you can't get you can't be +8 in the turnover margin to make up for the rebound. So, you know, and they're obviously, they went to the 4 guards a lot tonight, but Ballo's a load for us.
You went away from a dive for a while in the second half, and it seemed like they had some success inside. Any regrets on that front?
Well, they went to Renault, who's quicker, so I was just matching with them. You know, I wanted to put him back in, but, you know, when you look down, and Tyler Bilodeau's your leading scorer, and in the game he's your leading scorer. You want to take him out? So sometimes it's like, yeah, trust me, I want to put him back in.
Yeah.
You know, but then I got to put Tyler Bilodeau on Luke Goody or Mabako defensively.
Yeah.
And I thought the other night I didn't do a good job. Look, I believe so much in Eric Daly that I put him in a bad spot, and I told myself tonight if they play small and they exploit him a little bit, that we got to go 4 guards. So I made that decision. And I thought the other night I did a bad job with that until the end, and then we made the comeback against Illinois.
Yeah.
So when teams play small, it's just we got the players to do it. And you know, Trent Perry's. It's a great time to play him. You know, because as you can see, he's really good. He's got a tremendous future.
What does it say about Dylan that, you know, stepping up the line, he was 1 of 7, 1 of 4, and at that point he was 1 of 3 on free throws, and to make both of those? not having this best shooting night?
I think he's a great kid, and he really cares about his coach, and he didn't want to see me go to the hospital.
Yeah.
Mick, you talked about that coaching situation
Yeah.
with Indiana. Is that anything you've given any thought to or that you would entertain?
I just think it's tough to do that stuff during the season. Oh, that's not what you're asking.
It is.
I just think it's tough to do that stuff during the season. But actually, you know, it's just the whole thing's gotten so crazy because we had a couple coaches did it, right? Tony and Coach Larinaga, they did it. You know, Leonard, you know, the coach I replaced, it happened to him during the season. I don't like to see that. As far as me, I would never comment on a coaching situation. It'd be wildly inappropriate because I'm the son of a coach, and the way I look at it is that Mike Woodson's the coach at Indiana. That man's coaching his basketball team. And he was a national champion. I happen to know him. I know Kenya Hunter on his staff extremely well for many years. I have tremendous respect for their kids and their team. And to me, nobody should say anything that distracts from anything with them, with that. So I just think it would be wildly inappropriate. And that mostly for what I said, my respect for Coach Woodson. He's over there coaching his team. That's all that anybody needs to. I understand you guys got to do your job. You got to ask. It's just that's my stance on that stuff.
Sorry to follow up that more so that you're kind of a name on these hot boards that are coming out. And
you know what? Here's how I look at that stuff. You might be on your hot boards. They might want my ass fired on our hot boards. That's how I look at that. So hey man, I stay off the hot boards.
I want to ask it.
They might, I'm just telling you, man, that's just the way it is.
I want to ask it in a little bit different
You can go from one board to the other real quick, hiring fire, you know what I'm saying?
You're a Midwest guy, very familiar with this Indiana program. Kind of just what's your impression, not for you specifically, but just like kind of the appeal of Indiana in 2025, because they obviously do have.
I think, look, there's obviously blue blood jobs. And there's, you know, people write these articles now, like because we haven't won the title since '95. But, you know, it's never going to change. Like, the Yankees are always going to be the Yankees. You know, UCLA basketball, Indiana basketball is always going to be, it's just the way it is. So that's, you know, I don't think that, even though what's it been since since Steve won it with Coach Knight. So, but there's still, you know, it's still the Hoosiers, man.
Do you think that still carries weight, like the history part of it? Or?
Here's what I would tell you about programs. Okay, I think your programs, it's changed because of new rules.
Right.
I used to always say you got to have support commensurate with expectations. Okay, now I can't answer those questions, only for UCLA. You got to have support commensurate with expectations. To be a great program, you got to have great tradition, and you got to have great fans. Okay, and in the backbone of support of all the guys in your tradition that played. Like for me, you know, I got guys like Kareem and Mike Warren and Jamal Wilkes. Guys are just tremendous supportive guys at every game. That's important as well. Now you got to tack on the NIL and then whatever the new rule is, the revenue share. So you got to throw those two in, you know. But I just think, you know, it's back to the big time tradition, support, and your fan base, your former players, you know. So you would know the answer to what's intact here. You know, I know my mentality. It's just, I walk out here and I see Coach Knight just like I walk out in my job, I see Coach Wooden. And I mean, that's just what I said to your guys, people at the scores table before the tip-off, I said, man, I don't know if Coach Knight might be rolling over in his grave looking at those uniforms. Those, you know, Adidas must have talked him into that. When I was at Cincinnati, we were at Adidas. They had us wearing some crazy neon stuff one time too. So that's what I was thinking about when I saw those uniforms.
Did you get a chance to see the Sebastian Mack play where the technical, it was a big turning point for them?
I didn't see it.
Okay.
You?
I didn't see a replay, no.
Did they get you an explanation on that? Was it because of the elbow, or was it something more?
They said he got fouled and then his arm went out. It's hard for me to comment. You know, I don't expect to get calls on the road. You know, and I don't expect to get any calls this year in our first year in this league.
This was the first win outside the Pacific time zone. Is that significant?
Nah.
Cause you're
We should
gonna need to do that.
we had Carolina beat. I should have had Tyler out of there. We were up 10 in the foul, and he got his 4th foul, and then we just went on a parade of missed free throws, which was ridiculous. So, but no, I don't. I think when people realize, man, people in this game, you play well and lose.
Yeah.
In this league is gonna get coaches fired. I was in this league now, the Big East back in 11. Okay, you can play well and lose in this league. Okay, we did not play bad at Maryland. We're down 9 when I decided to hit the showers and send a message. Okay, Ace Bailey's is 2nd or 3rd pick in the draft, hits a fall away contested 3 on us in the corner at Rutgers. They're at full strength against us. The rack's rocking. We didn't play bad. Dylan had the flu. He played 5 minutes. It's just, so I think people get in their head, you just see results. So whether you win or lose, I think you got to improve. You got to evaluate your team, your individuals, because these kids will want to get better. That's at least part of the way we do things. We're a truth-telling program. So, that's what so whether you win or lose, you got to get better, because ultimately we play in a one-and-out tournament. And I know everybody thinks they know who's going to win it and that we have no chance, but that's not the way we approach it. We will not approach it when that day comes, I can promise you that, because we practice under 11 banners. So nobody else does that.
You mentioned.
Go ahead, sir.
So, just what would you say to UCLA fans that might see you on these coaching lists for Indiana and might be worried about you leaving?
I would say some people might be happy, because some people probably are on boards wanting me fired. I mean, this is what you gotta understand, that stuff in this business, and I'm being dead serious. Your popularity rating when you're a coach, you have to check your ego. They booed John Calipari in Kentucky. Okay, you know what he did there? He said, well, he's the opposing coach. I mean, wow. They wouldn't have booed Bob Knight, he walked in here, I can promise you that. I can promise you. Okay, so I mean, that's just the way it is, man. So I'm well aware that I might be on a board for a job, but my board, somebody might want me to lose my job. And I know I'm laughing, but I'm being serious, man. We get our ass beat Tuesday, I think we play. Go ahead, check our boards.
Coach, you talked a lot about the season. I don't have to rehash all of it about the travel schedule, the
Yeah.
travel and everything. Just deeper into that, not getting into
Yeah.
the full travel, but the second game of these road trips,
Yes.
kind of how does that differ than the first? Is it kind of like, do you kind of adjust and are you kind of
No.
better for it, or is it hard?
I'm much colder than I was when we landed. It's just 5 days of this. I'm just kidding. Coach Dana Altman and I, because Coach Musselman's new and Danny Sprinkle is new. So in our meetings, we asked, they were talking, what do you think on these road trips? We're in the Pac-12, we're used to 1 day in between.
Yeah, that's all.
So you gotta leave the day before, you play, get to your next place, you play, you get back, you're losing, so we left on Monday morning, we're gonna get back Saturday morning tonight at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
It's too much class. I want 1 day off in between. Now, some of my Big Ten coaching brethren said, oh, you gotta have 2 days of game prep. To my answer, my main man, Coach Izzo, was, you're the greatest 1 day prep guy in history. You've never lost an Elite 8 game. He's 8-0. What the hell does it matter if you got an extra day? You don't need an extra day's prep. And in fact, with your record, I wouldn't want one. And I said, trust me, guys, you're gonna be, even though you're in LA and the weather's better, and they only do it 1 time and we do it 3. So I'll be vocal. I think we need to get these kids back home. Academics matter. And for us, it's 3 of these trips plus the Big Ten tournament.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I'd like 1 day off in between. Even if you gotta fly, from Maryland to Rutgers, it's a short flight. We did it, we would play, we would play Utah at night, okay, slept. The next day flew to Colorado, had a walkthrough, played Colorado at noon and won the game on CBS. So I think coaches sometimes, it's new for the Big Ten coaches in the Pac-12 in defense of them. We're used to 1 day. But again, you're just prepping for the NCAA tournament. So that would be my request on it.
My favorite question.
But I don't predict anybody will listen to anything I say. Okay, just so you know. I did not, the only thing I have in common with Coach Izzo and his clout is we're both short. He and Matt will probably have the say on that.
I like to ask about springboard after good performances. So Trent Perry.
You do love the springboard.
I do.
It's his thing. If your guy's a good game, is he gonna spring forward? I hope so.
Yeah. Does it give you more confidence in him, a performance like
I've
this?
had confidence in
Yeah.
him. It's just trying to find him the right time to get him the minutes. And I thought I should have done it more at Illinois. I blame, after I beat myself up after every loss. And I thought we should have played small. I put Eric in some tough situations playing against Illinois, and it was a chance to play him. Because when they decided they were going to play small tonight, it was a chance to play Trent, get him minutes. He's had a great attitude throughout being a McDonald's All-American and having choppy minutes. You can't possibly have a better attitude than him. My athletic directors and some of our donors watch our practice, but my close friend Ryan Wolf, who from Martinsville, he's he knows the game, guys, and he said that kid got one shot in your practice. He got one shot. Never stopped talking, never stopped hustling, was always in the right spot. That kid's gonna be a great player. He's a winner. You can really win with him. So
Is everybody fully recovered?
a guy was finally there. Yeah.
Okay.
Him and Tyler were hurting bad, and it went from stomach virus to respiratory. Yeah. I gotta gain some weight back, so hoping Doug's got something edible here on the bus.
All right, we ready?
All right, man.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.